Peace, y'all. Yo, this is Lost in the God. Check it out. The company name is Keep Low. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, subscribe to the channel. That's KEEP/LO. Keep Low. Never tell, they never know. Now check it out. Look, people been getting at me in my comment section and my inbox on Facebook and all that. A lot on my inbox on Facebook and Instagram. And they've been telling me my messages or whatever. And they've been telling me, yo, them videos you did on Alpo Martínez was proper. But look, can you do another video on Alpo Martínez on YouTube? So I do this video for y'all on Alpo Martínez. Now check it. I met Alpo personally on a few occasions, and he seemed like a solid dude at the time. And that's just some real shit. This is before all the snitching and, you know, all the publicity about people knowing about the murders and all that. Because Alpo was accused of 14 murders, and he pleaded guilty to 14 murders. So that's just public record, you feel me? But yo, check it out. Getting on with the story, I'm gonna give y'all my perspective of Alpo Martínez, Richard Porter, and AZ Faison. I tell you, check it out. Look, Alpo was a kid growing up on the Lower East Side of Harlem, you feel me? And he was Spanish, but he looked at black. You feel me? He looked at like, you know, y'all know how he looked at. So, pardon me, Alpo, he was always a type of hungry dude. And when he was younger, his family would send him to like everybody had it, because I grew up in the projects in New York. So people had the fresh air fund where they could send you away to other families, and you could go upstate to like the Catskills, the Adirondacks and all that, and it'll be like a white family or whatever that'll hold you down and let you experience different things. So Alpo used to go up there and come back to New York or whatever. So when he got about 14 and a half, 15 years old, he jumped off the stoop. Now to all your out-of-towners, you'll call it jumping off the porch. But just same thing. But I'm from New York. You know, I was born in Harlem, so Alpo was in Harlem too. So he jumped off the porch, or jumped off the stoop, you feel me? So he got into the D-Rug game. Now just for educational purposes, y'all know that D-Rugs, that's drugs, you feel me? So he got into the game, the D-Rug game, and he started doing this thing. So he met these two guys. Their names was Richard Porter and AZ Faison. So check it out. When he met Richard Porter and them and AZ was a down low dude. You know what I mean? He bust out a Benz or whatever he wanted to bust out, newest model car of that year. You know what I mean? Because this is in the late 80s, early 90s. So AZ used to bust out a joint and he'd be busting it out. They'd be like, oh, he got a Benz or whatever, but he stay like this. He don't rock that much gold. He don't wear designer stuff. He was on some down lows. So shout out to AZ for that. You feel me? Because I'm with that on that perspective. Because that's why the name of my company is Keep Low. And once again, I'm going to tell y'all, subscribe to the channel. And I got the Keep Low production shirts as well. So subscribe to the channel. And yo, if y'all want to get the Keep Low production shirts, hit me in the comments. Check out the videos with the Keep Low production shirts. I got them in all colors, all sizes. Holla at me, Lost in the God. Well, continuing on with the story. So, AZ, Alpo, and Rich, they always get money. Now, they was just for educational purposes, so YouTube don't flag my channel. There was multiple kilo dealers. So they was getting mad bricks, you feel me? So all three of them. And Rich Porter, R.I.P. to Rich Porter because he got murdered. And Rich Porter, he was a fly guy, busting out with Porsches, dressing fresh all the time. Alpo was a fly guy, dressing fly all the time. But he was riding motorcycles, doing crazy shit, going through Harlem, causing ruckus, banging, punching dudes in the face, wilding out. just putting pictures of girls, videos of girls that he had sex with in a roller rink called the Rooftop in Manhattan, where everybody used to go, all the big ballers used to go there. And he used to put, they had like a film thing, like a screen, like a movie type of thing, where people could see a film while they dancing and roller skating or whatever. And he used to put him having sex with other girls that he videotaped. You feel me? And these were other people's girls. So Alpo was off the hook, but he was a solid dude at that time. You feel me? So him and Rich and AZ, they was doing their thing. But AZ, like I told you, AZ was on the DL. He still had a job and he was making other moves and he was low. You feel me? But Rich and Alpo was both flamboyant, so they started getting closer. You feel me? So this what happened. Rich and Alpo started pooling their money, and remember, these dudes were getting multiple kilos, so they had millions of dollars. You feel me? So it wasn't uncommon for Alpo to say, yo, Rich, here go $1 million, and Rich put $1 million, and they take $2 million to the Connect. Or this is just for educational purposes, so YouTube don't flag my channel, because they be flagging people for talking about D-Rocks. So check it. So this is just a real life story of them. So what happened was, Alpo used to give Rich $1 million. Rich used to give Alpo $1 million. He go take care of the business or whatever. So at this time, Rich Porter little brother, Donnell, R.I.P. to Donnell, bless you, little kid that got caught up in his drug game stuff. You know what I mean? And he was like a little kid going on his way to school, and his uncle had set him up, you feel me, with these other dudes who kidnapped him so they could get the money from his brother Rich, because they knew that Rich had millions of dollars. You understand what I'm saying? And Rich and Alpo was rolling together. So at that same time, Alpo had gave Rich $1 million. This is according to Alpo Martínez, $1 million or more. So he told Rich, yo, you took care of the business? Rich was like, yo, they kidnapped my little brother today. He's like, I heard. He's like, I got some dudes. We could go all out. We could do what we got to do. He's like, you know, I got some hitters with me. You know what steppers is. Dudes that really do, you know what I mean? Lay their murder game down. And it's just for educational purposes. But anyway, I'm just telling you a story. So anyway, look, Rich was like, just my perspective of Rich's perspective. Rich was like, damn, some dudes kidnapped my little brother. They said they want this X amount of money. Damn, I don't got that much cash or whatever right now. I'm trying to make some moves. And he was thinking, how can I get my little brother back? So he was going through whatever he was going through. But at the same time, from Alpo perspective, and it's my perspective of Alpo perspective, and according to Alpo, his words, he was like, yo, look, man, damn, I just need my money. So he went back out to DC. Alpo went back out to DC and continued getting his money. So he was doing what he got to do. So Alpo was rolling with this dude named Big Head Gary from Washington, DC. Now, Big Head Gary was a stepper. He was a little guy, like about 5 foot something, slim in the waist, but he was a street murderer, a stepper, real stepper. He was about his business in the murder game. You feel me? And plus, he was getting money. The kid cat had a couple of millions, but he was a serious dude too. So Alpo was rocking with him. So they was rocking with each other. So Alpo told him he went back to New York and he bumped into the Connect. And he said, the Connect said, yo, I gave Rich the work. You ain't get that? And Alpo was like, word, you gave him the work? You give me months? He's like, Alpo told the connection, yo, we didn't have this conversation. Don't say nothing. So he went back out of town and he told Big Hat Gary, yo, my man Rich is acting kind of crazy. I know his brother got kidnapped or whatever, but look, it's about this money, man. I get this dude some dough. So I'm looking at it from Alpo perspective. You feel me? So he's like, and ain't nothing wrong with his perspective. Because remember, y'all big time drug dealers, y'all sell kilos. So nobody's friends in that shit. And that's just the real thing, children, if you're going to get into that. But don't get into that. And I'm telling you from Keep Low, don't get into that. Because you're going to see how the outcome of this story turns out. So look, so Alpo tells Gary, look, we can go back up to New York and we can confront my man Rich. And if he don't talk right, I want you to be in the back of this customized van that I got. I'm gonna have him sit in the passenger seat, and we gonna work it out. So they go up there, they get Rich in the van. You feel me? And when they get Rich in the van, Alpo's like, yo, what up, man? You driving? Like, yo, look, took care of that, whatever. Rich like, nah. Now, this is my perspective of Rich's perspective. Rich is trying to say, damn, these dudes want million for my brother or whatever they want for his brother. He's saying, I'm going to take this work and I'm going to flip it, even though I got my man's money. But I got to flip this so I can get my brother. And that's just what I'm thinking of Rich's perspective, whatever his motives was. So Alpo, anyway, moving on, him, Gary, and Rich is in the van. So Alpo says to Rich, yo, you got that? But remember to talk to Alpo. And he told him that he gave it to Rich. So he's saying, yo, you got that? He's like, nah, I ain't get it yet. So Alpo looked in the rearview mirror and he gave Big Head Gary the signal. Rich was sitting in the passenger seat. You feel me? So he banged him. So Alpo was thinking, damn, where am I gonna drop his body off at? You feel me? No disrespect to the Porter family, but I'm just telling the story. Everybody know. So he said, I'm gonna drive to City Island. That's it, like up in New York past the Bronx. So he drove to City Island. When they went to get Rich out the car, Rich wasn't dead. So he told Gary to get him out the car because Alpo was driving. And when Gary went to get him out the car, he couldn't do it because Rich was bigger than Gary. Remember, Gary was like 5'1", 5'2", 5'3", slim body, 100 and something pounds. So Alpo was bigger. So Alpo was like, I'll get him. So when he went to get Rich out the car, Rich moved. He's like, oh, he thought he was dead. So he took the banger and he banged him again. Now, let's get into this. It's a tragic situation that he had to kill his friend. But from Alpo's own mouth, Alpo said he was getting it like 13, 14 a key. And he was charging me 15 a key or 16 a key. So he's charging me 2,000 extra on each one. And I'm supposed to be his friend. So if he did that, what would he do down the line? Now, just from my perspective, Alpo's perspective, Alpo was kind of right. He's saying, damn, this is my man. I gave him $1 million, gave him $2 million. We usually take care of the business. Nigga charging me 2,000 extra. I mean, you on some other shit. That's just from my perspective. And that's why it's not good to get into the drug game, because when you get into the drug game, this is the rules you gotta play by. Ain't no rules, ain't no friends. It's all about the money. It's all about whatever principles you feel. You feel me? So that's why I advise y'all young children not to get into the drug game. So anyway, Alpo killed his friend Rich, him and Gary. That was terrible. He went out to DC. And when he kept on continuing getting into real situations that require treachery and larceny, because it could be petty larceny or grand larceny. You want big money, so you do larceny. You feel me? And he was doing that. And treachery is when you cross all your friends and don't care about nobody but yourself, just get the money. That's what it's about. And that's what you do when you're a big-time drug dealer. And let me say this just for educational purposes. Most big-time drug dealers work for the police. They work for the CIA, the FBI. They work for crooked FBI. No disrespect to the good FBI, but the crooked FBI. They work for all kind of COINTEL program type of people. And you can investigate that. But yo, check it out. This is what happens. You feel me? Like Freeway Ricky in California, the CIA was giving him cocaine to poison the black community or just to poison his own ghetto community. You feel me? So think about that, children. And my advice to y'all, don't get into the drug game. Yo, this is part one of this Alpo story because y'all asked me for it again. And I'm not going to call it the Alpo story. It's my perspective of the Alpo story. You feel me? But like I said, I met him on 2 or 3 occasions. and he seemed like a solid dude at the time, but that's before all the snitching and all that. And he ended up being the talk of New York for real. Nobody can take that from him. And rest in peace to Alpo Martínez. Rest in peace to Gary. Rest in peace to Rich Porter. Yo, blessings, man. So shout out to all your little kids. If y'all haven't subscribe to the YouTube channel, or to all your solid people. Shout out to all of y'all. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's called Keep Low. I'm La Shame to God. I got the Keep Low shirts in all colors, all sizes. Check out the videos, and yo, just fuck with me for real. Yo, this La Shame to God. I'm gone like last year. Peace.